Hey, what's up guys? Kyle Watts here, and today we're going to find out what's the best microphone for the new Sony ZV-1. So, you've just picked up the new Sony ZV-1 and you've had some time now to try it out, but you're wanting to upgrade your audio by getting an external microphone, only you don't know what to get yet. So, today we're going to go outside and test out some mics, some of the best mics for vlogging and filmmaking, and decide which is the best new mic for the Sony ZV-1. Alright guys, before we get started, I just want to mention that this video is not a sponsored video. I'm not being paid by any of these manufacturers to review these products. I just am a fan of some of these products, and the ones that we're going to use today are mics that I've used in the past that I'm a fan of. First up, I gotta say, the internal mic on the Sony ZV-1 is quite a bit of an improvement over other internal microphones. And it's selfie-facing directional microphone. I'm actually quite surprised on how good it sounds, and it's very usable. Okay, so first up in the external mic shootout is probably the most popular external mic, the Rode VideMicro. With the Rode VideMicro, it comes with the shotgun mic, the shock mount, and the dead cat and the cable. Second up is my favorite on-camera shotgun mic. It is the Rode VideoMic NTG. So it comes with an all-aluminum volume gain step knob, bunch of different options for complete control. Comes with a foam cover, the shock mount, hot shoe, and the cable. In this video, we're going to be using the WS11 windshield as well, which is sold separately. So third up today is going to be the Rode Wireless Go, which is literally becoming one of my favorite Rode products yet. This thing's quite amazing. Comes with the transmitter, the receiver, comes with two different dead cat windshields, comes with the cable, and all of it's packed real nicely into this little neoprene foam case, so it's about as small as it gets as far as microphones. So last up today is the Saramonic SR-XM1, which is probably the smallest of the form factors that you're ever going to get with this camera. It does just come with the 3.5mm jack microphone and the optional dead cat, which you can get as available extra. So let's head outside and check these out. This is a mic test of the internal mic on the Sony ZV-1 at arm distance. This is the test of the internal mic on the Sony ZV-1 from 6 feet. This is a test of the Sony ZV-1 internal mic from 12 feet. This is the test of the internal mic on the Sony ZV-1 from 20 feet. First mic we're going to try is the Rode Micro with the wind muff. This is the test of the Rode Micro from arm length, set at 13 on the preamp. This is the test of the Rode Micro from 6 feet. This is the test of the Rode Micro from 12 feet. This is the test of the Rode Micro from 20 feet. Alright, next up we are going to try the Rode NTG VideoMic. This is the test of the Rode NTG VideoMic with the preamps at 1 and the gain setting at 13 from arm length. This is the test of the Rode NTG VideoMic at 6 feet. This is the test of the Rode NTG VideoMic at 12 feet. This is the test of the Rode NTG VideoMic at 20 feet. Alright, next up for the mics is the Rode Wireless Go. And obviously it's a wireless mic, so it doesn't really matter how far away from the camera I am, as long as I'm obviously within range of the wireless. But let's do the test anyways and see how it sounds. And I have it clipped onto my backpack. You can put it on your shirt, underneath your shirt. You can connect these to a lav as well. But this is just giving you a test of what this is with the wind muff on it. This is a test of the Rode Wireless Go from arm length. This is a test of the Rode Wireless Go from 6 feet. This is a test of the Rode Wireless Go from 12 feet. This is a test of the Rode Wireless Go from 20 feet. Now we could just stop here, but I mean, heck, let's just for the fun of it go further. So let's get across this bridge here. As long as I'm within contact to this, I should be getting wireless signal. So if it cuts out, it cuts out. Right now I'm at about probably 50 or 60 feet, and we're still probably good, hopefully. So this is a test of the Rode Wireless Go from 60 feet. This is a test of the Rode Wireless Go from about 90 feet. This is a test of the Rode Wireless Go from about 100 feet. The nice thing about the Rode Wireless Go, obviously, is that as long as it's on you you're getting yourself. You're probably not picking up a lot of background noise. You can be as far away from the camera. Being closer to your mouth, it's going to get less reverb. So there's a lot of benefits of a wireless. You do got to make sure you keep it charged though, and you do want to use this only for obviously one person. You can hook up two of them. They have a new cable you can use that's a stereo splitter, so you can use two of these. All right, last on the mic test is the smallest of the form factor. It's the Saramonic SR-XM1. It is a 3.5 millimeter jack, and it has a movable thing where you can change it to a 90-degree angle. Without the wind muff, it's a mic capsule on the top, and then I just have the wind muff to go with this. This is slightly shock mounted. This is a test of the Saramonic SR-XM1 from arm length. This is a test of the Saramonic SR-XM1 from 6 feet. This is a test of the Saramonic SR-XM1 from 12 feet. This is the test of the Saramonic SR-XM1 from 20 feet. What I do like about the Saramonic SR-XM1 is that if you're on a thing like an airplane, somewhere where you don't want to have a big mic but you want to have a little bit better audio than the stock internal mic, this is definitely a good option. It's probably going to pick up some handling noise in your grip or you're holding the camera because it's not shock mounted. If you're okay with that, this is probably a good little mic just to be putting on the end of the camera. It literally takes up no room. You can put it in your pockets. It's a good option for discreetness, especially when it doesn't have the wind muff on it. We are outside and there is some wind today, so I am using the windshield on it. But this is the Saramonic SR-XM1. All right, now let's go over the pros and cons of each one of these mics. So to start with, we're on the Sony ZV-1 internal microphone. Obvious pro to this camera is that it's the onboard microphone. It's what you get. It is a pretty solid microphone in my opinion. It doesn't have anything to go with it, so you can put the thing in your pocket, take it out, don't have to worry about options, don't have to worry about if your mic has a battery or not, or if the cord is plugged in all the way. It just works because it's what's on board of the camera. So con, I think it does pick up a little bit, a lot more atmosphere than maybe you want. It'd be noisy inside of bars and restaurants. So it's not the greatest mic if you want to reduce noise and be more direct on the person that you're trying to record. But I do believe the internal mic is a very good option, and I hope Sony moves forward with their cameras with a similar setup on their other cameras. Let's check out the Rode Micro. So we are on the Rode Micro, and first pro right out of the box, it's an inexpensive microphone. It is Rode's entry-level shotgun microphone. And personally, I think it's actually, in my opinion, almost one of their better ones. I like that it does not have a battery operated, so you plug this thing in and it works. You don't have to worry about if it's charged or not. It is what it is. There's no volume settings, so you just get your camera set and it works. Pro number two is it's a pretty small microphone. It does sit on top. With the dead cat, it's about like the size of a baseball maybe, and it sits on a shock mount. So as far as cons for this microphone, one thing I would say is that you can't make it any louder or quieter unless you use your camera settings. It is nice to have some microphones where you can control the volume. There's no low pass, there's no settings. It's plug and play. I've been using this microphone for a couple years now, and I think this is my go-to microphone for most stuff, just because you plug it in, it works. Another con with this mic is that every now and then you do have to maintain it. There's an Allen wrench screw on top of the shock mount that connects to the hot shoe mount that sometimes will come loose on you, and you do want to tighten that every now and then because it will make noise. And then another strange thing that happens is they put a cap on the end of this shotgun mic where you can unscrew it. Downside to it is that sometimes it comes loose while you're working with the mic and you don't notice it. And what happens is you'll get a rattling sound that just keeps picking up on the end of the mic, and you probably won't even notice it until you get home and you go to start your project. So if you do get this mic, make sure that you do maintain it. Make sure you keep those things tight. What I've done recently is tighten that capsule down at the end and then put electrical tape around it so that it just can't come loose to begin with. But other than that, this is probably the most common microphone you'll see on most cameras nowadays, just because of its inexpensiveness and that it sounds good. Let's move on to the Rode NTG VideoMic, which is a option that's about 4 times more expensive than this. Let's see how much better it is. Okay, we are on the Rode VideoMic NTG. It's a little bit of an overkill for a camera like this. It is probably, in my opinion, one of the better shotgun mics for on-camera use. It's kind of funny looking on this camera because it's like bigger than the camera itself, because it is kind of a big mic, and I do have a big dead cat on there. It's a great mic. You can dial this thing in. You get it to, I've been setting the preamps about between 2 and 4 on the camera, and then just control the mic, the gain dial in the back of the mic to get to your like -12 on your camera. I did find if you go higher on the mic on this one, up to like 13 or 14, you will start to clip, so you do want to bring it down. On the test earlier, I might have had it actually a little too high and it might have clipped, but anyways, this is the Rode NTG VideoMic. Pros are, it is way more dialed in. It is probably better audio quality, has better low end, better high end. This mic has an array of options on it. You can have 2 different high pass filters on it. You can have a high shelf boost for bringing out the high end of the audio, especially when you're using a dead cat. It has a safety channel, so you can run 2 different channels, and if you clip, then you can switch it to the other channel. That's a -20 dB channel. Also, it has a -20 dB cut on there, so if you're in loud venues, concerts, whatever it may be. Now let's talk pros. This thing is a big microphone. It looks normal on bigger cameras, but on the small ZV-1, you kind of look ridiculous. You kind of brought a big mic on a little camera, and people will look at you and wonder why you have a gigantic mic on a small camera. If you're not a big deal with that, then great, this is a great microphone for you. I do believe it's way more directional. It picks up way more of what's in front of it. I think it rejects more background audio. Another con with this microphone is that it's an expensive microphone. If you would like to get this microphone, you're looking at anywhere from $200 to $250. Sometimes you'll see it a little bit less. If you want to get the dead cat, that's an extra $20 or $30. So you're starting to spend more money on better audio equipment. Another pro with that, though, is if you do get this mic, you will have a better mic for your studio. You will have a better mic for other cameras. So as long as you don't mind putting kind of a ridiculous looking mic on a small point and shoot camera, then maybe get this mic. So let's move on to the Rode Wireless Go. Okay, so this is the Rode Wireless Go, and number one, most obvious pro is it's a wireless microphone, which means you don't have to be next to the camera. You could be up to 200 feet away from this camera with this microphone, and it'll still sound pretty much like this. Another pro is whatever you put in front of this thing, if you put this on someone, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to get a lot of background noise. You're not going to get a lot of crowd noise. It's pretty much going to be isolated to the individual you put on. Now, if you're looking for putting this on 2 people, you're going to need to buy either another set or come up with another dual mic setup with a splitter cable. Another pro is that the form factor on this thing, it's tiny. You clip it on top of the camera, you put this on someone, that's all you have. It doesn't take up much space. You can put both of these in your pocket with the camera. Now let's talk about a couple cons. Number one, this mic setup is about $200. And that's if you want one. If you want 2, it's obviously $400. Second con, you have to charge them, which means at some point they're going to die. If you're out and about and you're doing a long day, you might run out of battery before you're done with your video. But I just like the fact that you can have this thing clipped on you, and you can put the camera wherever you want, and it's still going to pick up. All right, so now let's go back and check out the Saramonic mic. All right, so this is the Saramonic SR-XM1. First pro, its size. It's tiny, it's a little L-shaped microphone on a 3.5 millimeter jack. You plug it in, you're done. That's it. Second pro would have to be it's very inexpensive. It's about a $20 mic. You can get it anywhere from $20 to $30 with the dead cat on top of it. When you have a camera out and you don't want to be obvious that you're shooting video, you can just put this on there. It's really tiny. You can use this mic on cell phones, other cameras, anything with a 3.5 millimeter jack. And another pro is that if you're running and gunning and you want to turn the camera and point it away from you, all you kind of have to do is just spin the microphone back towards yourself when you do that. Let's check that out actually. So now I'm behind the camera and I'm talking. I just spun it. You definitely got a little bit of noise when I handled the microphone, but that's it. I mean, you can just spin it and you're right back on camera. Spin it again, and once again, you're right back with the audio. Con number one, on some cameras, most setups, you're probably going to get some handling noise. I don't know how this setup works yet. I haven't heard it. But on other ones, sometimes you'll get the noise of holding the tripod, holding the camera, any kind of movement that's moving on the camera. It might pick up on this because there's no shock mount. There actually might be there's a little tiny shock mount on the capsule itself, but it's not anything that's going to stop any major noise. So second con is it's not the greatest mic at reducing the background noises. In fact, I would almost compare this to the onboard mic on this camera, but maybe a little bit more directional. Now when it comes to this mic though, I would personally say just go out and buy this microphone, because it is a nice thing to just have in your bag. It's so inexpensive that it's worth just having. I've had a couple situations where you're going into a place where you need to be very discreet with your video camera, but you want still somewhat of a directional microphone, and this is a very good option for that. It works very well on other cameras that don't have as good of internal mic as the ZV-1, and it's so inexpensive. It's just like, buy it, just get it, try it. They work great on GoPros, especially the older GoPros. Makes the audio just a little bit better, more directional, and it keeps them small. So I would just say just go out and buy this microphone, keep it in your bag, use it when you can, and worst case scenario, you lost 20 bucks that you don't use a mic if you don't ever use it. So okay, let's head back to the studio. Let's check out how these mics sound, and I'll tell you which one is my favorite and which one I would recommend for this camera the most. Okay, well, I've had a chance to check out all the footage of the mics, and I have to say I'm still pretty surprised on the internal mic from the Sony ZV-1. So let me start out by saying this. Overall, I feel like the best mic out of all of these is the Rode VideoMic NTG, as far as audio quality and functionality goes. But with that said, it just doesn't seem to be the mic that I would want to use on top of the Sony ZV-1. Let me explain. Sony ZV-1 is clearly the camera you take with you when you want a smaller profile, and not to be carrying around a large camera setup. But when you put the NTG on top of this camera, it becomes a large camera setup. So because of that, it just doesn't make any sense to say that this is the best microphone for this camera. Now, what I do think is the best everyday setup for run and gun shooting would have to just be the Rode VideoMicro. It's a great smaller mic, it has a great windshield, and it just works and sounds good. And that's what I want with the camera like this. It's just something I can plug into and know that it's always going to sound like the way I expect it to. That's not to say that I think that the Rode Wireless Go isn't a great option, because I do believe that the Wireless Go is probably the best setup due to its size and quality, but it doesn't always seem to work in point and shoot applications. It picks up great on the subject, but that's not always what you need. Sometimes you need to point the camera at something else and get audio from that as well, and the Wireless Go just isn't going to do that. Now, as far as the Saramonic mic, it's a great option for having a small, discrete mic, and it's probably better than the internal mic. But as far as audio quality, it just doesn't hold up with the other Rode products. So anyways, leave what you think is the best in the comments down below. And while you're down there, please like, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on other future gear reviews and filmmaking tutorials. And of course, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.